1757, a private company defeated a kingdom. Not an empire, not a nation, a company. It was called the British East India Company, and the Battle of Plassey would quietly begin one of the most unusual conquests in history. They did not arrive in India as rulers. They arrived as traders. Spices, silk, cotton. But trade slowly became influence. Influence became leverage, and leverage became control. The company learned quickly that war was expensive. Debt was cheaper. Indian rulers were offered financial protection, military alliances, and strategic friendship. In return, they signed treaties. And those treaties reshaped India. If a ruler borrowed money and failed to repay, territory was surrendered. If a kingdom lacked a male heir, it could be annexed under the doctrine of lapse. If rival princes fought each other, the company chose sides and collected the reward. By the early 1800s, vast regions of India were no longer governed by traditional courts. They were administered by corporate officials thousands of miles from London. Land revenue systems were redesigned. Taxes rose sharply. Peasants bore the burden. Meanwhile, Indian textile industries, once among the most advanced in the world, declined under pressure from British industrial imports. Raw materials left India. Finished goods returned at higher prices. Profits flowed outward. Shareholders in London prospered. In Bengal, famine struck in 1770. Millions died. The company continued collecting taxes. Resentment did not explode immediately. It simmered. Resistance had already begun in scattered forms. In the south, Tipu Sultan of Mysore refused submission. He modernized his army. He deployed iron-cased rockets. He formed alliances with France. He fought 4 wars against the company. In 1799, he was killed defending his capital. But resistance did not disappear. Tribal communities revolted against land seizures. Peasants rebelled against revenue policies. Warriors opposed annexation. The anger was local, but it was growing. Then came 1857. Indian soldiers, sepoys, within the company's own army began to protest new rifle cartridges rumored to be greased with cow and pig fat. For Hindu and Muslim soldiers alike, this was a religious violation. But the cartridges were only a spark. The deeper grievances were years old. Low wages, racial discrimination, loss of kingdoms, disregard for tradition. When rebellion broke out in Meerut, it spread with shocking speed. Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi. Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi became one of the rebellion's most enduring symbols. After her husband's death, her kingdom was annexed. Denied recognition, she chose resistance. She led troops into battle herself, mounted on horseback, sword in hand. The uprising was fierce, but it was not unified. Different regions fought for different reasons. Coordination was limited. The company responded with overwhelming military force. By 1858, the rebellion was crushed. The East India Company was dissolved. India came under direct rule of the British Crown. But what history often oversimplifies is this. The conquest of India was not a single invasion. It was engineered over decades, through contracts, through financial dependency, through legal manipulation, through economic redesign. And Indian resistance was not a single uprising. It was a long struggle, military, political, and cultural. Even under corporate rule, resistance never disappeared. Because colonization was not accepted quietly, it was challenged. Again, and again, and again. Empires may be remembered for their expansion, but history should also remember those who resisted it. Because long before independence movements of the 20th century, India had already begun fighting for its future.